Ms. Covray, could I get a roll call, please?
Aaron Rashba,
Aye.
Andrea Jordan,
Here.
Shaquille Ali,
Here.
Nadia Flamenco,
Here.
Anthony Sujisaka.
Here. Thank you very much. All right, and we will move on to our Pledge of Allegiance. If we may have the students of Garden Village, Ben Franklin, and SBA, please come up and join us for the pledge. When you are saying it, please make sure the microphone shows green. Thank you.
Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, of liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, students. With that, we move to item 4, approval of the agenda. Can I have?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Before we do that, I actually have an adjustment to the agenda, sorry. Can we move item 7I to after item 5C? We have students here tonight, part of that presentation, and we want to make sure that we can get them home in time for early to bed.
All right, so then I will need a motion to approve the agenda, but with the item 7I move to after 5C.
Motion to approve the agenda to move the number 7.I.
All right, I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimously approved. All right, we move on to 5A, board member acknowledgements and commendations, and I will start on my right.
All right, well, I wanted to just talk about some of the really nice events of last February 1st, a rainy Saturday that started with a science fair at Fernando Rivera, and it was just wonderful to see the room full of students, parents, teachers, principals, and other staff coming together, and I think really just showcase the best of our district. I was so impressed with the creativity, the thoroughness of the science projects that were displayed. They really made you think, and we had participants from TK to 8th grade, so it really ran the gamut of our district. So I want to congratulate all the winners and thank all the participants for the fair. After that, the board members came together for a 4-hour retreat here. And while I do think that we could make some improvements to this meeting to make the most of our time, that can be subject another item for discussion at a later time. I think we were very productive overall. We came together to talk about our purpose as a board, do some planning, set some objectives. And it was great to see we have such diversity in this board, tremendous diversity as it should be, but we all stand together united in serving the best interest of our students. Thank you.
I echo my fellow trustee sentiments. We had a great discussion on the first, and it was a really great because we're, again, focused on the best interest of our students and making sure that we're focusing on the right policies, focusing on the right programs, ensuring that we're really keeping top of mind our financial conditions, because all of those affect how we're able to run the district appropriately. I also want to say Happy Black History Month. I think this is the first meeting that we've had with the public present. And I know that a lot of times in our schools and the curriculum, we talk about the same people, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and I want to say that there's a lot more than that have made impacts on just America and the world at large, and I'm going to name a few of those people today. So Bessie Coleman is one of them. She was the first Black and Native American that was a pilot. We also have Claudette Colvin, who actually gets overshadowed by Rosa Parks. Before Rosa Parks did not give up her seat to a white woman, Claudette Colvin did the same thing 9 months before, and she was only 15 years old, and she got arrested for doing that. So if you don't know who Claudette Colvin is, I suggest you look her up as well. Another person is Shirley Chisholm. She was the first Black woman that was elected into Congress, and she was also the first woman to be elected into the Democratic Party for presidential candidate. And then we have Fred Jones, who was an American inventor who in 1938 invented or designed and patented the air conditioners or portable air conditioners for trucks that are taking food that are perishable. And again, these are people that we probably don't hear about often. And so I just wanted to highlight there are more people than what our curriculum probably says. And we are a diverse board as my fellow trustees said, and I want to make sure that even though it's Black History Month, we should be highlighting figures across different gamuts of the race and really talking through how they've impacted and brought some light and honestly invented things that without them we wouldn't be able to move forward the way we are today. So I just wanted to share that, and hopefully that you guys are reading and looking at things that are beyond what's in front of you on a day-to-day basis. So thank you.
All right, thank you for those words, Trustee Jordan. I want to add to that I'm available to come speak in your classrooms if you would like to invite me. And I would like to acknowledge and commend Superintendent McCulick and also the Facilities Director, Bill Heath. We attended, and Mr. Heath and I were on a panel discussion yesterday at the high school district. And so I would like to acknowledge and commend them as well. We were on a panel discussing workforce housing and the fact that our districts have been in the forefront of innovating, and the public helped us by us being able to pass a bond measure to pay for this housing that we have for our teachers and other staff. So I would like to commend our whole district for that, and thank you.
Well, I second everything they have said. It was really interesting, the science fair for all the students. I appreciate all your work. And also, we were celebrating Chinese New Year and now Black Month history. So, yeah, thank you.
I echo my fellow board trustees' sentiments, and then I also want to wish everyone, before you all head out, about happy Valentine's Day and a happy President's Week next week. With that, we move to item 5B, superintendent comments.
Yes, good evening. So you all took a lot of what I was going to say, so I won't repeat it, but I want to add on. I want to thank our coordinators of the STEM Fair, John Hopkins and Jessica Pace. Jessica, I think, is in here tonight, somewhere back in the back. I don't know if John is here tonight. I don't think he is. But I want to thank them as well as all the site coordinators. There was a site coordinator at every site to help bring the science fair projects and make sure that the STEM fair, it's STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, went off with great success. And I thank you all for participating in that. Those winners will be actually going to the county science fair, which is in March. And so then they'll be coming. That's why there's going to be a little delay before we have students coming to the board, because we wait till this county science fair completes. I also want to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year, happy Black History Month. I've been seeing some activities in the classrooms. Some of those people that you mentioned actually are what I've been seeing students learning about. So I'm glad you brought that up. I also want to remind families that enrollment is now open. So if you have younger siblings that are turning 4 or 5, please enroll now. We want to remind our families that our schools are welcoming, engaging, and safe. They're safe places for everyone. We follow and uphold the laws to protect our students' privacy and encourage families to send their children to school every day. School is a safe place for everyone. I also want to point out that in front of you on your agenda, you're going to notice, in addition to the goals at the end of the agenda items, it'll say Equity BP Board Policy number 0415, and then it has a number next to it. And so we have the equity policy copies in the back. So if you're wondering what those are related to, you also have them in front of you. We're trying something new and see if this is something we want to have on every agenda item, if it's necessary. And so I'm going to ask you at the end to reflect on that to see, do we want to continue this practice? But I wanted to point out to you as well to the public that the policy is in front of you, and so you can look to see what number it's related to. I think, no school next week as well. So just want to remind families that the schools will be closed next week. The district office will be closed on Monday and Friday next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Mikulik. All right, we are moving on to item 5C, persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on any issue that is under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is usually 2 minutes. We will display the 2-minute timer on the screen. If the timer ends, I will stop you if you go over. As a reminder, the board may not discuss or comment on any items that are not listed on this agenda or expressed during communications public comment. We want you to know that we will hear, or we hear you, and will ask our superintendent to follow up on your comments. Please make sure you leave your name and contact information with Ms. Covere so our administration knows how to reach you. Do we have any public comment? There are none. We close for item 5C at 7:11. All right, item 7I, which is now after 5D. Presentation on this California School Dashboard and Local Indicators for 24-25 school year. Ms. Dina Conti, Program Director of Assessment, Accountability, and Multilingual Learners, will present on the California School Dashboard, mid-year student academic progress, and how staff use data to inform instruction.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Mikulik, and the Jefferson Elementary community. This evening, I'm here to share our district's performance on the 2024 California Dashboard and provide an update on academic data for this school year based on our iReady diagnostic results. The California Dashboard assigns performance colors, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, to districts, schools, and student groups, with blue representing the highest performance and red the lowest. These ratings are based on status, the 2024 performance, and change, a comparison to the 2023 performance. Academic dashboard data comes from state assessments like LPAC and CASP. This year, California has added a new student group, long-term English learners, defined as any student who has not become proficient in English within 7 years of being classified as an English learner, and added science as a measured indicator. We do not have an assigned indicator for science this year. This slide presents Jefferson Elementary's performance across multiple state assessments. It includes points away from standard and score differences between 23 and 24. Our 2024 dashboard shows a plateau in English language arts and math and a decline in English learner progress, evident by the shift in yellow to orange. Now we take a closer look at student groups and program identifiers across each indicator. This includes the number of student groups in each performance color. I will highlight some shifts from the 2023 dashboard. In English language arts, the status of students with disabilities changed from red indicator to orange indicator, which means there was an improvement. The status change for students identified as 2 or more races changed from yellow to green. In math, African American students and long-term English learners were added to the red indicator. Students with disabilities improved their placement from red to yellow, and Pacific Islander and Filipino students moved from the yellow indicator to the orange indicator. Chronic absenteeism improved with our overall status moving from red to yellow. This shift resulted in 6 student groups improving from red to either yellow or orange. Suspension rates also saw positive movement. White students moved from red to green. 6 student groups moved out of the orange and into either yellow or green. However, our long-term English learners were added to the red indicator this year. Here you see all significant student groups and program groups that appear on the California dashboard. A student group with 2 or more red indicators is eligible for targeted support. The outcomes of our 2024 data are summarized in this table with student groups and areas of identification. As you can see, many student groups are no longer eligible and will continue to monitor and measure their progress in collaboration with the San Mateo County Office of Education and our district teams. We will also continue to engage in improvement cycles to address the needs of our African American students and long-term English learners. Tonight, we also want to highlight practices that we believe have shown positive impact on student outcomes. Here to talk about improving school attendance is Lauren Buckley, principal at George Washington.
Hi, I'm just going to briefly describe what our school is doing to improve attendance, and we've seen great results this year. You can see the difference there between last year and this year. And really what we've done in our is established an attendance team, and in that attendance team we're monitoring attendance and then planning interventions depending on who the students are who are struggling with attendance. So we've implemented an attendance raffle. Students receive those daily tickets when they're on time to school, and they're really loving that. When we started that last year, we saw our attendance immediately go up. The kids are saying like, I gotta get to school on time to their parents. So that's been really fun. We have whole class incentives. So when the whole class is on time, the class receives a letter. And so we have a prize when they spell out Cougar Pride. And then really the parent communication has been important, because sometimes the importance of or parents don't really understand the importance of attendance. When they might see 1 or a few days is not a big deal, but really it's a lot of lessons that kids miss, and we see a real, on the left-hand side, I just put here kind of that correlation between attendance and the CASP scores. So we really see, and this is the district numbers, but we really see overall, you know, those kids with high attendance, which are all the way on the right, really have a higher percentage of meeting and especially almost 50% of them exceed the standard. So kids being on time is really important, and I've been sharing that with families at every single opportunity, every newsletter, every communication, every family event. And so the parents really know, I'm going to tell them, I really expect your kids to be at school. And then our attendance team has call scripts with progressive intervention. So we make a call to every student who hasn't called in, telling us why they're not in school every day. And our attendance clerk has a call script that she uses, the same with families, to see if there's any issues coming up that we can help the families resolve. And then we put into place some supports and interventions, including morning care that we have available to all of our students. So if they need to drop off early, they can, or if we need to buddy them up with another family that lives close by, we can create those connections as well. Thank you.
Our district and site teams have also been working hard to reduce suspension rates. On this slide, you see our current rate for this year and a comparison for current to last year. To improve suspension rates, administrators continue to implement alternatives to suspension for minor or repeated offenses, keeping students in school whenever possible. Vice principals are now using a Google form to gather student feedback on about preventing repeat offenses and guiding conversations upon their return from a suspension. Students and families review the responses and create a support plan focused on accountability and moving forward. Restorative practice teams also continue at all of our middle schools and some elementary schools. These teams help integrate training into school-wide climate and culture initiatives. One of our key improvement efforts this year is the introduction of iReady assessment and personalized learning platform. I'd also like to provide you with an update on the results from our winter administration. So iReady is a diagnostic assessment administered 3 times a year. The data from the assessment is used to create a personalized learning pathway tailored to each student's needs. Research indicates that students who engage for 30 to 49 minutes per week, passing 2 lessons at a 70% pass rate or higher, show steady progress toward grade level expectations. iReady measures 2 types of growth, typical growth and stretch growth. Typical growth represents 1 year's progress, while stretch growth is an accelerated growth needed to move students who are below grade level towards proficiency and those on grade level toward advanced proficiency. This year and next, we're requiring that all students in grades 3 through 8 utilize personalized learning instruction for 45 minutes a week per subject. Personalized instruction is a district-wide intervention in response to our academic outcome data, and our goal is to bring all students closer to grade level within this period of time. The third and most critical feature of iReady is its ability to provide data-driven insights, which empower teachers to make informed decisions and support differentiated lessons based on student needs. Now let's take a look at the reading data. Here you can see the overall placement for all grade levels. The top diagram breaks students into tiers aligned with multi-tiered systems of support and compares the distribution between fall and winter. Below the pyramids is a 5-level breakdown. At this point in the year, any green is considered on grade level. Here we see the median progress toward annual typical growth. Keep in mind this score represents 1 student who is the exact middle score of the total number of students tested. About half the students scored higher than 88% and half scored lower than 88%. At this point in the school year, our target is at least 50%. Our goal is to have 100% of students hit this target by the end of the school year. Here you can see how different student groups performed on the winter assessment. And now we're going to jump over to math. We'll start with the overall placement. So again, you see our pyramids, and then the comparison of winter to fall. Green still being on grade level for winter. Progress toward annual typical growth. Again, we are well above the 50% mark. And our math data by ethnicity. Our district and site teams are committed to our goal of more students learning more. We believe our strategic actions have contributed to the growth seen in the winter data. Through our iReady implementation, we have partnered with curriculum associates to provide targeted professional learning for teachers and administrators, focusing on data collection, analysis, differentiated instruction, and personalized learning. We continue to support site-level implementation. Beyond iReady, we offer other professional learning at the district level to help educators design lessons using universal design for learning guidelines aimed at reducing barriers to learning. Each school site has a leadership team dedicated to data analysis, instruction, and school culture, fostering a strong data culture to drive informed decision-making. Site-based teams monitor implementation and assess trends to identify strengths and areas for growth and develop action plans to address areas of need. Tonight, staff will share how we are collectively improving student learning outcomes, from district leadership to school sites and classrooms. Every educational partner is aligned toward this goal. Tonight, we have some guests who will highlight key efforts at each level. Each week, we're publishing iReady minutes and pass rates in our Ed Services newsletter, which we also share with all of you. By tracking minutes, we can celebrate accomplishments, follow up with sites who aren't hitting the target, and provide support for ongoing progress. As you can see, not every student is engaging in the required minutes for iReady, creating an opportunity gap for some of our students. Next up, we have Christine Adornetto and Bethany Cook from SBA to highlight some work from their data action team.
Hi everyone, I'm Bethany, and what we are highlighting for you now is some data that we took from our FastBridge and iReady scores to compare how our students are performing across grade levels. And so we were feeling that by seeing the whole school's data, we can see that big picture, and this helps us determine our next steps and also come up with better ways to support our students.
Our data team made a Google Sheet that auto-populates how each class is doing in regards to proficiency. The K2 is using FastBridge data, and then 3, 4, 5 is using iReady. Not only do we goal set as a school site based on our SIPSA goals, but we also do goal setting with our students. Goal setting with students helps give the students buy-in when they're doing iReady and involves them more deeply in the process. And my student is going to speak on that.
Hi, my name is Giovanni Gonzalez, and I am a fourth grader at Susan B. Anthony Elementary. I'm here to tell you about how iReady is important to me. I made a goal with my teacher, Mrs. Ardenetto, after the fall test to improve 20 points. Because of my hard work on the iReady personalized reading pathways and our class goal chart that you fill in when you pass lessons over 80% correct, I grew 58 points on the reading test and 31 points on the math test. I feel that when I do well on iReady, that both reading and math makes more sense to me. I'm excited what I see it get in the spring.
Now let's hear from some students about how iReady personalized learning is helping them. So from Ben Franklin, Jimena, Natalie, and Anza, and from Garden Village, Fatma, Daniela, and Genesis.
Good evening. My name is Daniela, and I'm a 5th grade student at Garden Village. iReady Math has helped me in so many ways, like with fractions. My class is working on fractions, and fractions aren't easy for me, but iReady helps me with that. I also like how iReady gets to my level. In the end, iReady helps me become a better math student.
Hi, my name is Fatma, and I'm in 5th grade, and I go to Garden Village Elementary School. iReady Math helps me because it teaches me how to use different strategies and also helps me with strategies I already know. It explains to me when I get an answer wrong. iReady Math helped me improve a lot this year. It's my first year doing iReady Math, and so far, it's very helpful. iReady Math helped me with my long division and multiplication problems. I really like iReady Math, and it can also be really fun to do.
Hello, my name is Genesis from Room A, Garden Village Elementary School, and today I'm going to be talking about iReady Math. Now, we all know about iReady Math, right? Well, iReady Math is so helpful with my math skills, to to do iReady Math is the first time. I didn't know what to do, but now iReady helps me with fractions. Now fractions are really hard for some of you. iReady Math know but iReady Math I know how to do fractions and so much more. And that's why I think that iReady Math is good for all of us and it made me a better math student for my class. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Asna Madu, and I'm going to be talking about iReady Math. No, iReady, yeah. So when I first started iReady, it wasn't all that fun for me because it felt like another homework or classwork I had to do. It felt this way because it didn't pertain to what I was learning in class. I guess it was because I wasn't at my grade level on iReady. So after I took the second diagnostic test, I got a higher score. I was more open to working on iReady even though I was already caught up with all my weekly minutes. It helped me do better on tests and understand what I was being taught in class. It even helped me get into math counts, which is like a more challenging math class. My test and essay scores improved, and I participated more in class with the new knowledge I attained. All this couldn't have happened without the continuous practice I got from iReady, so now I can proudly say and proudly express what I couldn't before my appreciation for iReady.
Good night. My name is Natalie Alexandra. I feel that iReady been helping me out so much with English words that I didn't know before. Now I can read a little bit more fast because of iReady, and I feel that it can help other kids who come from other countries that doesn't know English, and that's been helping me out a lot. Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Natalia Alexandra. Siento que iReady me está ayudando mucho con el inglés y en las palabras que no sabía leer y, y, y siento que puede ayudar a muchos niños que vienen de otros lugares.
Good night. Good afternoon. No, oh my God. Good evening. My name is Jimena Arajo, and I'm a student at Ben Franklin. And iReady has helped me a lot, especially in math. Math has always been difficult for me, but since now iReady is made so that I can learn, especially for me, that has made it a lot easier for me to learn math that I didn't know before, and also learn math that I'm learning in class and exceed in what I'm learning. Thank you.
All right, I will need a motion to extend this agenda item, I believe. 10 more minutes. May I have a motion, please?
I will motion to extend the agenda item for 10 additional minutes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. You have 10 extra minutes.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is David Alamon. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Garden Village. I've only been in JESD just for a few years, but I've been an educator for over 20. And I do know when it comes to teaching and good instructions, students have to be at the center of it. And I know anything else that I'm doing in my classroom, if their kids are not at the center, then I'm going off in the wrong way. What's good about iReady is that, as you've heard, it's very personalized. It gives these assessments to these students. And as a teacher, I get all this information, and I look at that information, and then because iReady meets the kids where they are, I can meet my students based on that information. iReady breaks down, iReady Math breaks it down into like 4 domains, and I can really see quite clearly when I look at the information which students are where. And because of that, I can plan my instruction. I can give individualized instruction, small groups, or a whole class instruction if need be. I just know that I wish I had something like iReady when I was a kid and learning, because I was taught really old school, and it was like this mass teaching to every single student. Well, iReady kind of narrows it really down, really specifically to what each student needs. And because of that, it makes me a better teacher. And so that's why I like iReady. Thank you.
So as we conclude this evening, I would like to summarize a few key points from this evening presentation. One, we're cautiously optimistic about our progress in iReady. Our achievements are a reflection of our collective efforts towards achieving a shared goal. iReady serves as a temporary support while we continue to refine instruction to meet the needs of today's learners. Our improvement team will continue to work to address the needs of student groups and program needs. And we can't end this evening without celebrating our success. We should recognize the growth and positive changes reflected in the California dashboard, along with the progress shown on the iReady assessment. A special thank you to the teachers, administrators, and students who came out to share this evening. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. All right, we will begin with clarifying questions. So if we have any clarifying questions, I will direct them to Superintendent McCulloch. I will start them on my left.
I did ask you and sent you the email for those questions that I had, and you want to reply it or you want me to read it? Yeah. I mean, my main concerns, it was why some communities were red in most of the grades, and I was asking her what we are doing to increase those levels or the absence in disabilities and all those. So those grades, those percentage were from last year, right? And then she mentioned to us, all of us, that all those percentage has been increased for this new year. So they're putting more attention how to address all those absences. And yeah, like you mentioned, they are more aware or calling or finding out how to support everybody. So just for you guys to know. Thank you.
Thank you. It was great to see overall the progress on the dashboard and the academic achievement of our students, engagement, and attending school. I just had a question, though, about the two groups, the long-term English learners and African-American students that are dashboard eligible. What are some of the culturally responsive instructional practices that we are using with the African-American students?
So that is something
Question for Ms.
yeah,
Scott.
Well, that is something that I will come back to and bring back to the board. So I'll write that down and get that back to you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that presented today. The students were very eloquent in their speaking and very brave to speak in front of the board and obviously audience. So you should be proud, parents as well. You should be proud of your students. They did a phenomenal job. I really like to hear directly from the students and the teachers because you guys are in it on a day-to-day basis. And so it was just really beautiful to see that. So hats off to you for your presentation. I wanted to really commend the fact that we are focusing on equity in the sense that our students are at the forefront of this conversation and focusing on individualized learning plans. And so in our equity policy, we actually, the first one actually says routinely assessing student needs based on data disaggregated by race, ethnicity, and socioeconomic cultural backgrounds in order to enable equity-focused policy, planning, and resource development decisions. And I think iReady is really helping with that, and it shows based on what was said by the students. So I just want to give a shout out to our district for making those changes to make sure that we are addressing the needs of our students. My question to you, Superintendent McCulloch, is also on the specific demographics that were showing red. Is it okay for me to share what you shared with us with regards to the percentages?
Absolutely.
Perfect. And the reason why I'm saying this is because so we found out that our population of African American students in our district is 1%. And that if one student or two students don't do well, it could bring down the scores for the entire demographic. And I say that out loud to say perception over reality. So when someone is looking from the outside in, they may think, oh, wow, your African American students are just doing horrible. But reality is, it could be one or two people that's bringing the score down. And I'm saying that out loud because when a student feels like, oh, I'm a part of a demographic that is at the bottom, or I'm at the part of the demographic that doesn't do well in math, it could internally make them feel like, well, you know what, that's just how we are and we'll never get above. But the reality is that one or two people may do not well, and that could make it seem like the entire population isn't doing well. And I want to make sure that that is not the message that we're putting out there, and we are working to figure out how to get those one or two students up to the grade levels that they need to be. So I just wanted to say that out loud because sometimes, again, perception over reality can really bring down the morale and even the intent to learn from the students that are in our schools. So I just wanted to say that out loud. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great presentation. Thank you to everyone who spoke, particularly the students. And I echo what Trustee Jordan said about how eloquently you spoke. It really strikes me just how helpful it is to have kind of diversity of data. And in the past, we would have had just the CASP dashboard results and thought, well, our, district is kind of in the middle and we've gone down in a few areas. Doesn't seem like things are going that well. But with iReady, you see more granularly what's happening, and I'm really encouraged by the some of the growth that we have seen, and those statistics on the percentages towards growth is really encouraging. I love what I heard about iReady, again, particularly from the students. Hearing that you had a goal is really important. That's something I use in my own life. I think all of us, need goals to strive towards in order to improve. So it's great that that's built in. And I think, personalized learning, you hear that over and over again. And that just really reflects the way that we learn and take in information in today's world. So I'm so glad to hear, that this has been a really effective tool in our district. We, however, cannot rest on our laurels, looking through the iReady data and seeing that we have a good percentage of students who are well behind grade levels. So we all have to keep working, towards continuous improvement. I would love to hear at a future board meeting, maybe how teachers, the teacher from Garden Village who spoke, you got at it with how you use data to reflect your lessons, but maybe if we could hear a specific case of how lessons are changed or added based on some of this data, I think that would be really helpful to hear. And the last thing I have to say is, I think what Principal Buckley said is just really important about attendance dictating results, and students can't learn unless they are here in class. So everything that we can do across the district to share these practices, which she spoke of, are great tools and techniques, and it would be great to just standardize them as much as possible so it's as easy to roll out. I know that we do quite a bit of that, but just imploring us to do as much as we can to drive up attendance, which also improves our bottom line as a district. Thank you.
May I get a motion for one more minute, please? Oh, that's right.
I move that we extend for 5 minutes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, so I just have a few closing comments, and then we're going to get to our certificates. So first of all, I want to appreciate Ms. Conti and how your presentation was very positive, and you focused more on when you had all these groups. We often see the numbers are changing, but we don't get which groups were changing from which group, because that wasn't on here, but you said that, and I appreciate that you said that. I also agree with you on educating our communities, and I think that's what some of our speakers said was educating our communities. This was really going to benefit us in the long run and how we help with attendance, with how we increase our scores by educating our communities and why those are important to us and why they are important to you is really how we're going to all build these things together. And I think one of the things I think most of us set up here, if not all of us, we loved hearing from the students, the teachers, the administrators, and everyone else, just because you are our community. One of the things that we want to know is that the decisions that we are making up here are affecting you all. And when you come up and give presentations to us and tell us how well or not well we're doing, that informs us to make better decisions for you all. So we want to encourage you to continue using your voice, continue coming to talk to us. Whenever we have a board meeting, if you want to say something, please do. That's one of the things we really want to be. It was transparent up here. And then thank you, board members, for submitting your questions early. I think that was really helpful to our administrative staff to getting those accurate answers out sooner. And if not, then we can get that answer to you. All right, let's move on to certificates. And we will start on my right.
Okay, I have a certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and presentation for Asna Kiria Madhu.
And I have a certificate of appreciation for our participation in the flag ceremony and presentation on the California dashboard and local indicators to Fatma Yari.
Certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and presentation for Giovanni Gonzalez.
Certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and presentation for Daniela Rivas Gonzalez. And also for Genesis Salgado Hernandez.
All right, so certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and presentation for Imena Araujo Zapian. And then another certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and presentation to Natalie Alexandra Arce Escalante. All right, and with that, we will move.
President Sushisaka, can I say one additional thing?
Sure.
I also wanted to commend Miss Nadia on her bilingual presentation. I thought that was phenomenal. You should be so proud of yourself. You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you for throwing that comment in. I think you echo all of our sentiments up here. All right, and then yes, we are going to go back to item 6A. Just so you all know, if you feel free to go home now. We will continue our meeting. Thank you for being here, and feel free to come back. All right, item 6A, consent agenda. If I can get a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Unanimously approved. With that, we move on to item 6D, appointment to the Citizens Oversight Committee. The administration recommends the initial appointment of John Shreve to fill the position of at-large community member of the Measures J and T Citizens Oversight Committee.
Yes, so we're recommending the initial appointment of John Shreve. I want to thank Ms. Peterson for going out and recruiting, and she was able to get someone to commit to this important work. And so we recommend that you approve John Shreve. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Do any members on the board have any questions?
I just have a comment.
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to really thank, excuse me, John, first of all, for volunteering to do this, and then just the Shreve family in general. We already have Dennis Shreve on our personnel commission, and then there's Denise Shreve, who's with the high school district, She was on the panel with us yesterday. So she's over CTE and workforce housing, and I'm not sure there's one communications for the high school district. So I just really wanted to take the time to really commend and thank the Shreve family for all their commitment to our community.
Thank you very much, Trustee Ali. Do we have any other comments or questions? If none, I will take a motion, or not.
I move that we approve the appointment of John Shreve to the Citizens Oversight Committee.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Shreve. All right, item 6E, Educational Housing Committee appointment. The administration recommends the following Educational Housing Committee board members to be approved for another term: Ernest Felix, AFT 3267 representative, and Michael Strauss, community member.
Yes, this is, we want to thank them. They've been on the board, the Education Housing Board, since the beginning, and we're grateful that they want to continue. I also want to thank Ms. LaRock, who facilitates the meetings, Ms. Peterson and Mr. Heath, who are part of it, and also our new member, Ms. Flamenco, and our president, who is was on the board from the beginning. So I recommend these two to continue on the board.
All right, do we have any comments or questions from the board members? If not,
Just
I will
one
also
comment.
report.
And was that Ernest who was here earlier tonight? Okay, I know Ernest. I just didn't know his last name. So yeah, I just want to personally thank Ernest for all he does in our district as a teacher, and then being on this committee as well. Too bad he's not in here right now, so we could give him his flowers and right in person. But thank you so much, Ernest, and also Michael.
I have a comment. I had the pleasure to be on a Zoom with them last week, and it was interesting, all the good things that we're trying to do together. Yeah.
I'll throw out a comment that, yeah, I really appreciate them on the board. I appreciate all the insights of all the board members on that committee. And I know the tireless hours that they put into that work, especially over the last 2 years. So with that, we have 37 seconds left to entertain a motion or not. Or unless someone else has a comment or question.
Move to recommend Ernest Felix and Michael Strauss to the Education Housing Committee.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second. Third.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And just to be clear, the second was Trustee Flamenco. All right, item 6F, tentative agreement between Jefferson Elementary School District and AFT 3267 for the 24-25 school year. The administration recommends approval for the tentative agreement for the 2024-2027 school years between AFT Local 3267 and the Jefferson Elementary School Board pending Assembly Bill 1200, approved by the San Mateo County Office of Education and ratified by the bargaining unit. The agreement, effective July 1st, 2024, includes a 3% wage increase on the salary schedule to the unit and other agreements for hours of employment, workday, personnel files, health and welfare, sick leave, transfers and reassignments, class sizes, and stipends for after-school and weekend work as specific in the attached tentative agreement. These agreements represent the conclusion of the 24-25 negotiations between AFT Local Number 3267 and the Jefferson Elementary School District.
Yes, so I just want to thank our negotiating teams for both the district and the American Federation of Teachers Union. I think they worked really collaboratively, they worked transparently and honestly and respectfully, and came to a great tentative agreement. So we hope that you will ratify.
Thank you. All right, are there any comments or questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I have a comment. I just wanted to, number one, also echo Superintendent McCulloch's statements. I know a lot of people were working on this, and I just want to say thank you for your patience for us to get through that. I also want to say thank you to both classified and what's certificated staff for bearing with us, coming to the meeting, speaking their truth. I think at the end of the day, we all want to do what's best for you all and for our students. And so I'm glad that we were able to come to this tentative agreement.
comment?
Mhm.
Yeah, good work, everyone. And just looking at this, excuse me. I hope that you don't have to stay after school too much or work on the weekend, but I'm glad that you have a stipend available if that happens.
All right, and with the comments, questions, motion? If not,
I will motion to approve the tentative agreement between the Jefferson Elementary School District and AFT 3267 for the 2024 through 2027 school year.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, AFT 3267 and Jefferson Elementary School Board, or School District. All right, item 6G. The administration recommends approving the tentative agreement for the 24-25 school year between CSEA Chapter 233 and the Jefferson Elementary School District pending Assembly Bill 1200, approval by the San Mateo County Office of Education and ratified by the bargaining unit. The agreement effective July 1st, 2024 includes a 2% wage increase on the salary schedule to the unit, a 1% increase on the longevity schedule scale, the addition of steps 15, 19, and 23 to the longevity scale, and agreement on Article 8, hours and overtime as specified in the attached tentative agreement. These agreements represent the conclusion of the 2024-25 negotiations between CSEA 233 and Jefferson Elementary School District.
Yes, I'd also like to thank the negotiating teams for the district as well as our labor partners in the California School Employee Association 233. And I thought same, worked very collaboratively, respectfully, and we're happy with this agreement. And we hope that it will be approved.
All right, comments, questions, or motion?
Comment. I just wanted to say to all the classified employees, paraprofessionals, or anyone in that category, we love you, we thank you, and we respect you for all the work you do. And if we're negligent at times and we just say teacher, 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 we're also including you in that. So thank you.
Yeah, and I want to publicly apologize because maybe my vocabulary is not as extent as I wish. But yeah, I just referred just one term when I'm learning to say more. Thank you.
I appreciate the comments of Trustee Ali and Flamenco, and certainly echo the tremendous importance of our classified staff, everybody who works in the Jefferson Elementary School District. And just to thank everybody who was on the negotiating team, worked hard for successful agreements with classified staff and our teachers union.
For point of order, I've heard a motion, but I haven't heard a second. Did I miss it? Okay.
I didn't hear a motion, did I? Did we
I
hear a
heard
motion?
Shaquille motion. Is that correct? No, sorry. I must have missed that too.
No worries. Did you have anything I want to say? Okay, so then with that, comments, questions, or a motion?
Well, maybe you were in my head. I'd like
Okay.
to make a motion to approve the agreement with the classified employees.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, CSCA 233 and the Jefferson Elementary School District. All right, quiet down, quiet down. All right, on to item 6H, resolution number 250212, National School Counseling Week. The administration recommends the adoption of resolution number 250212, designating the week of February 3rd through 7th, 2025 as National School Counseling Week and celebrating across the Jefferson Elementary School District during the week of February 24th through 28th of 2025.
Yes, so we missed it. So we're hoping that we have a resolution to pass so that we can truly celebrate them on another week. We did recognize them during that national week, but we would like to recognize them within our district as well and have a resolution prepared.
Thank you for the clarification. Comments, questions, or a motion?
I have a comment, but
Yeah, you can go first.
I just want to say I'm really glad that this is on the agenda. I think after the pandemic, mental health is super important, and I know that there was strain on our counselors to be able to assist and service all of the needs that we really had. So I really just want to say thank you to our counselors for all the hard work that they've been doing. I also think that I've been very vocal about me seeing a therapist myself, and I think that in the past it's been a stigma to say that you are seeing a therapist or you need counseling. And I just want to say for those that are listening, I think it's important even when you're feeling good to have someone to lean on. I think it just really solidifies the importance of mental health. Just as important as physical health. If you're not right mentally, then how can you show up in the class and actually learn? And so I'm really happy to see that we're recognizing our counselors for all the hard work that they're doing.
Thank you. Trustee Ali?
Yes, I totally agree, and I just want to say that there's a lot of students that, well, all the students need at least one safe place and one safe person on campus that they can go to. And for a lot of them, is actually the counselor. So as a person who spent a lot of time in counseling offices when I was in school, I definitely appreciate all the work that the counselors do. And now as a current teacher and case manager, I always tell the students that the counselors are the best friends of the case managers. So thank you.
All right, with that, I will need a motion to extend time if we need more questions.
I move that we,
Move to make February 24th to 28th National School Counseling Week celebrated at JESD.
Second.
All right, this is a roll call vote, so Ms. Kovare, could I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Rashba?
Aye.
Ms. Jordan?
Aye.
Mr. Ali?
aye.
Ms. Flamenco?
Aye.
Mr. Sujisaka?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, school counselors and other mental health professionals on their district. All right, we move on to item 7H, Contracted Services, Galileo Learning LLC. The administration recommends approval of a contract with Galileo Learning LLC for an amount not to exceed $268,500 for summer 2025 as a partner for our Rising 4th through 8th Camp Jeff program. The contract will be paid with the Extended Learning Opportunities Program budget.
Just for clarification, it's 286,500 for the Galileo Learning. I think you said 268, so I just want to make sure that we
Thank you.
say it out loud correctly.
Yes.
And this is just enhancing our summer program. We've had a different program in the past, and this one is a more high-quality program that we're engaging with, and we're changing the name from Big Lift or Bliss, Big Lift Inspiring Summers, to Camp Jeff, because we are no longer part of the Big Lift. And so in our ELOP, our Extended Learning Opportunity Program grant, fully funds these. So we're very excited about this new partnership, and we hope that you will approve.
Thank you, Superintendent McCulloch. Comments, questions, or a motion?
Just a quick question. What made you choose Galileo as the provider for this camp?
This has been a well-known organization throughout the county, and we were speaking to other districts and other experiences that we've had in other roles in other districts within the county. We knew that this program was well respected and has a high quality program, and there's an attachment to this agenda item with what they share, what they will do for us. And so we definitely wanted to make that switch so that we can give students a better summer program than we've had in the past.
Anything else? All right, any other comments or questions? Yes, Trustee Lee?
So I'm very happy to see this. I always have supported summer learning and the actual summer school in our district, and I'm glad we were able to be a part of the Big Lift and now continue it. So kudos to all of you for that, and probably us too. But I'm wondering, how long is this fully funded?
There is no end date in sight.
Great answer.
All right, any more comments, questions, or a motion? All right, then I will motion to approve the item 7H.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Good luck, Galileo. We look forward to hearing from you. All right. Item 9A, certificated retirement. The administration recommends approval for the retirement of Nancy Sanchez, first grade teacher at Thomas Edison, effective June 7th of 2025, and requests the appropriate resolution be prepared commending her for her years of service with the district. Ms. Sanchez has been employed with the district since August 31st of 1999.
Yes, we congratulate Ms. Sanchez on her retirement, and we're going to miss her, and we hope that she has a great next chapter of her future. So we want to thank her for her service and create a resolution in her honor.
Thank you. Do you have any comments or questions?
I just want to say congratulations on 26 years with the district. 26 years is a long time to dedicate to service, and you will be missed.
I'll also say, I know you've worked with my mom, so congratulations. And if I didn't say something, I'd be remiss. So, any other comments or questions? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the retirement for Nancy Sanchez, and thank you for your service.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Ms. Sanchez. Thank you for sticking out the year. All right, and that brings us to item 11, which is governance team member comments, reports, future agenda items, and board meeting reflection. And I will start on my right.
Thank you. This was a really encouraging meeting, and I just want to underscore how much I appreciated the presentation of our results and really just tied everything together so well. It was wonderful, inspiring as always to hear the voices of our students. Great to hear the firsthand perspectives of our teachers and our principals leading our schools, and from our district staff tying everything together. And so I look forward to hearing the continued progress of iReady, of UDL, of all of our assessments and initiatives, and hopefully we can keep seeing positive progress in our district. Thank you.
I echo my fellow trustee sentiments, so I will not repeat any of that. However, I do want to say thank you to everyone who's remained in the meeting, even though we've had a outflow of people after the original presentations, and just really grateful to everyone for the time and dedication to understanding what is going on in the district. I obviously alluded earlier to or not alluded, I said it's Black History Month. And so I'm an avid reader, which I feel like I've said a bunch of times. And so I recently read The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. And I want to actually do a quote from that book because I think it reigns true when we talk about equity in our district. And so in the book, there's a quote that really stuck with me, and it's, "For the sake of one's children, in order to minimize the bill they must pay, one must be careful not to take refuge in any delusion. And the value placed on the color of the skin is always and everywhere and forever a delusion." Because we all bleed the same. We are all the same regardless of what we look like. And so in our classrooms, I want our students to show up as themselves regardless of the color of their skin, because that's what matters the most, is that they're showing up, they're coming to school, and they're learning. And so I just thought I'd share that with the public because, again, our focus is on making sure, regardless of what you look like, where you come from, that we are giving you the best education that you can in our district. And then there is a statement on here about you want us to reflect on having the equity label on the agenda. I think, at least in my eyes, I don't see that it's hurting or valuable. I'm neutral to it, I guess is what I will say. I do want to make sure, and I think we've done that today, in ensuring that we are hearing from those on the ground. And I think that was very equitable because I heard not just the buzzwords, I heard this is how it's helping me on my day to day, not just from our principals, but from the students and the teachers. And so, in my eyes, if we can continue with that, whether we keep the agenda items showcasing that the agenda is based on our equity policy, I don't think it really matters to me. So I just wanted to say that out loud.
Thank you for bringing that back up. When I first looked at the agenda, it looked like a bit much, and I was wondering, was that too much work? But then it was actually helpful for me because then I could think about if I did have any questions, how to frame it in terms of equity. So that was the reason for the one question that I asked tonight about culturally responsive instructional practices, because it said that we are following number 4. So I looked at number 4. So I think it's like you said, I'm somewhat neutral, but it was helpful for me tonight. And then, of course, I'm glad that we always keep our focus on what's in the best interest of the students. And we did receive a nice thank you card from the Brizuela family. I don't think we really talked about it much publicly, that our former trustee who passed away. But something touched me that her family sent us and said that her favorite quote was, "Children are our future. We must give them the best." So I definitely agree with that.
Well, for me, this one, it was a really interesting agenda. As far when I started reading it, we accomplished really big things. The agreement between Jefferson Elementary School District, AFD, and CSEA. I know it's hard for all of us, but we really appreciate all the job you do for our kids, for our community, and this means a lot to all of us. And as well, the presentations the students gave to us. We also want your feedback and the students' feedback, how the programs we approve are working, and I hope we are open to listen your feedback. How do you like it? How is teachable or is working or not? And yeah, so we're waiting for all your feedback, and that's what we're here for you. Thank you.
All right, I echo my fellow board trustee sentiments. I also wanted to add a little bit on the equity policy and then also on timing. I found that the equity policy was actually quite positive. I think whether or not we actually used it during our meeting, which actually I think a couple of us did, one of the reasons I appreciate is that it's on there, that people can see it, and that if anyone wants to refer to, well, why is this something that we do in our district? They have a direct reference. Whether or not they're watching this meeting, they can refer to this document. They can go find our equity statement, which is on our website, and really see the value in what we're doing. Because some of these things we may not understand, like how equity fits into someone directly employed, like being paid by the district, but there is a direct equity reasoning. And so that's my personal take on it, was whether or not we actually use it during our meetings, I find it valuable that we have a reference for when people want to try to say, what is equitable about this? How are we using equity in what we do and what we are approving? As on timing, I think our timing was very good. I really appreciated that people were really sticking to their times. I appreciate that you all are going along with the motions for times, and the reason I'm very time focused is just I really want these meetings to be productive and focused on when we are talking about students, when something really big is coming up, that we can motion that time. And when we motion extra time, that shows that we are valuing that item, not more than any other item, but it shows how valuable that item is. And we are giving time to students or time to teachers or time to our presenters to present on those items. So I really appreciate you all in motioning more time whenever we run out of it. I also want to say thank you to the district for supporting mental health and school counselors, National School Counselors Week. There we go. As a former suicide counselor myself, that's something that I really value in our schools, and I think that is a major need for our students. Something that not everyone is professionally able to provide. Even as a suicide counselor, former suicide counselor, and mental health first aid person now, I'm not qualified to give the aid that this therapist can't. So I really appreciate our therapists, our psychologists, and everyone who provides mental services to our students. And I'm going to close this part of the meeting with, we kept our focus on the best interests of our students. And then with that, person wishing to address the board on closed session items. This portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on an item addressed in closed session. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is usually 2 minutes. How long is our list, Ms. Coveray? Very long? So long, we're already through it. All right, thank you. We will close the wishing to address closed session at 8:14. And we will go to a 5-minute recess at 8:14. Please convene in the room down the hall at 8:19 p.m. Thank you, everybody. No, go.